Good afternoon. Today I'm going to be reviewing the SÖNER Amorous Barcelona. This watch is available from SÖNERwatches.com for €524. SÖNER are a well-established microbrand. They were founded in Sweden in 2016. SÖNER specialise in making rectangular case watches rather than round case watches, and the owner of the brand, Freddie Palmgren, has authored a book called Beyond Round Watches, which details the history of rectangular case watches such as the Cartier Tank and also the Jaeger-LeCoultre Reverso, respectively. So one can clearly see the similarity of this SÖNER Amorous Barcelona's rectangular case and the Cartier Tank and the Jaeger-LeCoultre Reverso, respectively. The book, Beyond Round Watches, is available on Amazon Books and also available from SÖNERwatches.com for €25. So, the brand name SÖNER in Swedish means sons, and it was inspired by Freddie Palmgren, the owner's close bond to his two sons, and also the logo, the brand emblem, has the initials of his two sons which are interwoven, so that's the inspiration for the SÖNER brand name. It means sons in Swedish. So firstly, let's look at the leather case that the watch comes in, and then I'll talk you through the specifications of the piece. So the watch comes in this leather case and it's made from genuine leather, and as you can see it has SÖNER embossed with the brand emblem, and also it's personalised. SÖNER also engrave your first name into the leather case. Now I want to show you the packaging because they deserve full credit for this. The leather watch case comes fully wrapped with tissue paper with the SÖNER branding and gilt, and also the tissue paper is secured with a sticker with a brand emblem, as you can see. So very nice presentation, and it also comes inside this fabric dust bag, as you can see, which has a drawstring, and again we have the SÖNER emblem and SÖNER brand logo. So very nice presentation, good packaging. Let's look at the leather case itself. Now I want to give due credit to SÖNER here because this is a mid-tier microbrand piece, €524. So to clarify, low tier is €0 to €500 price point, mid tier is €500 to €5,000 price point. But one rarely sees a genuine leather case like this in the mid tier. Often mid tier microbrands will use a plastic watch box or alternatively a PU leather or vinyl coated watch box, but not genuine leather. This is genuine leather. Metal zip securing it and both halves open, and as you can see the interior has a chocolate brown fabric interior. Left hand pocket houses the warranty card, which I'll show you. Right hand pocket houses the watch. So very well finished, flawless stitching throughout, good quality metal zip rather than a plastic zip, and it works very well. Quality of the stitching around the perimeter is absolutely flawless, no loose stitches, and it's got a lovely chocolate brown tan tone to the genuine leather, beautiful scent to it. I really like to see genuine leather used in watch cases rather than PU leather or vinyl. This immediately gives the impression that the SÖNER Amorous Barcelona is a high quality piece, and it's made in Sweden using a high quality Swiss Salita caliber SW100A automatic. So with regards to items that come with the piece, it simply comes with this warranty card, and as you can see it says SÖNER, the brand logo, and also Defy the Norm. Now on the reverse there's space to fill in the model number and the date of purchase. Now I'm pleased to report that this watch is covered with a 10-year international warranty. Just think about that for a moment. Often mid-tier microbrands only cover their watches with a 1 or 2 year international warranty. I have reviewed over 500 watches on my channel. This is the first and only watch I have reviewed with an incredibly long 10-year warranty. This clearly indicates that SÖNER are very confident in the reliability and the durability of their watches. To offer a 10-year warranty is incredible. To put that into perspective, Rolex offer a 5-year international warranty. SÖNER are offering a 10-year international warranty, which is excellent. We have the contact email info@sönerwatches.com and also the website sönerwatches.com. Now in the bottom right corner we've got a QR code, so you can scan the QR code with your Android or iPhone. That will download the owner's instruction manual detailing the operation of the movement used, which is the Salita caliber SW100A automatic, which is Swiss made, and the warranty card details the terms and conditions of the 10-year international warranty. So exceptional. They really deserve credit for that. As a microbrand at the €524 price point, to be providing 10 years of international warranty is unprecedented. So with regards to the specifications of the piece, this is the SÖNER Amorous Barcelona. The watch is also available in a quartz version if that is more to your personal taste. This is the automatic version powered by the Salita caliber SW100A automatic. So The watch is also available on a plethora of strap options. This is the black alligator leather strap, and it's also available with a black smooth strap if that's more to your personal taste, and also alternatives such as brown leather straps. But I think this is the best looking option, the black alligator leather strap. So we have a 28.2mm case diameter, we have a lug-to-lug measurement of 40.2mm and a thickness of 10.8mm. The lug width is 20mm and the alligator leather strap tapers from 20mm at the lugs down to the buckle and tang. Solid 316L grade stainless steel buckle and tang, flawless mirror polishing to the top side, underside and flanks, and in the top right corner it's engraved with high definition engraving with the SÖNER brand emblem. No sharp edges, no burrs, nice heavy gauge to the buckle and tang, quality of the mirror polishing is flawless, and two keepers. The first keeper is fixed, the second keeper slides. It's a padded alligator leather strap, so it does feel thicker at the spring bar end, and then it tapers down in both width and also thickness down to the buckle and tang. So it does feel like a stiff strap, but I'm confident with daily wear it's going to break in and become very soft and supple. Plenty of holes to allow for fine tuning the length. Now, the thing I like about SÖNER is they offer their leather straps in two lengths, large and medium respectively. So if you have a large 7 to 8 inch plus wrist size, I recommend the large size. If you have a smaller wrist size of 6 to 7 inches, I recommend the medium strap size, but it's good they offer both versions, large and medium respectively. So they offer straps to fit collectors with a 6 to 7 inch wrist and also a 7 to 8 inch wrist respectively. So we have a curved double domed sapphire crystal with clear AR coating on the underside, and the clear anti-reflective coating does an outstanding job of reducing the glare and the highly reflective nature of this silver Dolphin handset and also the silver mirror polished applied indices. I like the symmetry of the dial and date complication at 3 o'clock, which is a white date with black Arabic numerals, is correctly proportioned. The legibility is good. Just the right amount of information on the dial. What I like about this is they haven't done what so many micro brands do in the mid-tier, which is to over-brand the dial with unnecessary text and specifications such as the water resistance rating or automatic. This simply says SÖNER, which as I've detailed in Swedish means suns. We have the brand emblem at 12 o'clock and then it simply says Amorous at the 6 o'clock position. So just the right amount of information. The brand name, the emblem and the model name, Amorous. And it looks nice and clean as a result. For example, it doesn't say automatic, it doesn't say 50 meters. This is negligible information for a daily wear or a dress wear piece. I like the proportions of the silver mirror polished Dolphin handset. The tip of the Dolphin minute hand extends to the applied indices and the hour hand is also correctly proportioned. It's also Dolphin, and we've got a needle point second hand which sweeps around the dial with a 4 Hz sweep. So proportions of the handset is correct, proportions of the indices is correct, and the silver mirror polished indices and Dolphin hands contrast very well with the black dial. The black dial has a subtle sunburst finish to it rather than being a glossy enamel black, and it's very aesthetically pleasing. I like the metallic sheen to it, but it's subtle, and also it looks like a very dark anthracite or charcoal colour rather than being pure black as per a glossy enamel black dial or Vanta black dial. With regards to the case and the bezel, they are solid 316L grade stainless steel and mirror polished to an absolutely flawless finish. I want to give due credit to SÖNER here because the first thing I look at with a microbrand in the mid-tier with a mirror polished case is in between the lugs, because often this is an area that is used as a cost-cutting measure. For example, mid-tier microbrands will often neglect to finish the internals of the lugs to the same standard as the bezel, the case and the case back with regards to the mirror polishing. For example, they'll just they'll mill the internals of the lugs and then they'll brush satin finish them because this cuts production costs and therefore maximises profit margin per piece. It's more expensive in terms of production costs to mirror polish inside the lugs to the same standard as the top of the case, the bezel and the flanks. But I want to give due credit to SÖNER here because this case is finished to high tier level. So to clarify, mid tier is €500 to €5,000 price point, high tier is €5,000 plus. What we're looking at here in terms of case finishing to the bezel, the case and the case back is high tier level. This is €5,000 plus price point finishing on a mid tier piece costing €524. The mirror polishing inside the lugs is exactly the same quality as the mirror polishing to the bezel and the mirror polishing to the flanks. Now, the thing I like about this piece above all else is its low profile. It's only 10.8mm thick. Bear in mind, this is not a quartz powered piece, although they do offer a quartz powered version. This is the automatic version powered by the Sellita Caliber SW100A automatic. So of course it has a rotor on the underside and it needs adequate clearance for the rotor. They've made the correct decision by using a solid stainless steel case back rather than an exhibition case back. That does reduce the thickness. Has a nice curved profile to the double dome sapphire crystal, so it's curved on the underside and curved on the top side. The benefit of it being double domed rather than single domed is that it gives adequate clearance to the cannon pinion and the second hand, but the curved profile sits very close to the dial and also sits very close to the handset, so the legibility is very good. The dolphin hands look very close to the underside of the curved sapphire crystal, as does the dial and as does the indices and also the date complication. So unlike many mid-tier microbrands, they haven't made the dial too far away from the sapphire crystal and therefore creating a permanent shadow around the date window. The date window is correctly proportioned, but what I like about it is the legibility, because it's white with black Arabic numerals, but it doesn't have a shadow. It's often the case with mid-tier microbrands, they use a very thick dial, especially with textured dials, and the problem is the thick dial creates a permanent shadow around the date window, therefore it's hard to read it. But this is good. The dial, the date window, and also the dolphin hands are very close to the underside of the curved sapphire crystal. Had they used a single dome curved sapphire crystal, with a flat underside, the problem is the crystal would need to be thicker and it would have a magnification effect. When you tilt the piece at an oblique angle, it would create distortion, but you can see the benefits. When I tilt this piece at an oblique angle, the AR coating works well, but because it's curved on the underside rather than being flat on the underside, we don't get the magnification and distortion effect. This is the correct decision. Curved on the underside, curved on the top side, the crystal is nice and thin. 50 metres of hermetic seal is perfectly acceptable for a daily wear or dress piece. This is not a dive piece, it does not need 100 metres or 200 metres. So let's look at the crown in detail. Solid 316L grade stainless steel crown, coin edge finished, nice large chamfer which deletes the sharp tips to the coin edge teeth. It's correctly proportioned. Often microbrands have a tendency to make the crowns too large on daily wear or dress pieces as per a dive piece. This is the correct size. It's large enough to be grippy and tactile. You can get good purchase with your index finger and thumb to manually wind it and also pull it out to set the date and set the time. But it doesn't stick too proud from the right hand flank. It's the correct size and it's also grippy and tactile due to the coin edge finishing rather than knurled finishing. Matte speed blasted background to it and the SÖNER emblem is in silver, so they've done a very good job of embossing it and it's signed. I'm pleased to see that it's not the cost-cutting measure of a sterile unsigned crown. So as it's a push-pull crown rather than a screw-down crown, in the close position we can manually wind the Sellita Caliber SW100A automatic to its maximum 42-hour power reserve. So when the mainspring is fully unwound and the movement is exhausted, the power reserve is exhausted completely and the movement stops. 40 clockwise turns is enough to fully wind the Caliber SW100A automatic to its maximum 42 hours. In terms of how it feels exactly the same as the Sellita Caliber SW200-1, which you'll all be familiar with. Nice heavy feeling to it. Now it feels smooth, doesn't feel rough or gritty to manually wind. One can get good purchase when it's closed with one's index finger and thumb on the coin edge crown. There is enough projection from the right hand flank, and even with my gloves I can get a good grip of it. Feels smooth. It does feel heavier than a Seiko NH35A, which you may be familiar with. Feels very similar. There's no discernible difference between the SW100A and the SW200-1. They feel very similar. Sellita calibers have the same characteristic heavy feeling to the mainspring. You can quickly feel the tension in the mainspring building up. Feels smooth, feels heavy, but feels refined, reliable and robust. I really like it. So pulling it out to the first click position is the quick set date complication. And when you rotate, just bear with me, I'll get it. It's tricky with a glove on. I might need to remove it. There we are. So looking at the date complication, pulling it out to the first click position, when you rotate the crown clockwise, it advances the quick set date complication. Feels exactly the same as setting the date on an SW200-1. No discernible difference. Feels lighter than a Seiko NH35A, which has a heavy clicking sensation to it. Also feels lighter than a Miyota 9015 and a 90139, which you may be familiar with. Feels exactly the same as an SW200-1 or an ETA 2824-2. That's the feeling of it. It feels light, but it feels refined. The thing I like about it is It's got a light clicking feeling to it, but the alignment is correct. Both the single and the double Arabic numerals align correctly in the date window. They're not too far to the left or the right, and they're not too high or too low. So the date window is large enough. The legibility is good. Nice fine fonts used. It's crisp, it's sharp. The font of the Arabic numerals isn't too thick, it's not blurry, it's nice and crisp. So the printing is good quality, and both the singles and the doubles are clearly legible. So feels good and also looks good. Putting it out to the second click position hacks the movement. If you look at the needle point second hand, you can see it's now stopped dead. So therefore it's possible to set the time precisely to the second with a Sellita caliber SW100A automatic. Feels exactly the same as the SW200-1. No discernible difference. Really, the SW100A automatic is a smaller version of the SW200-1. They have a similar architecture, but of course in this smaller rectangular case, an SW200-1 would not fit. So the SW100A automatic, which is a clone of the ETA 2671, is the correct choice. It's smaller. All the dimensions are smaller, including the thickness. So it's a smaller version of the SW200-1, which you'll all be familiar with. Feels smooth, clockwise and anti-clockwise, when you cycle through the Dolphin hands through the 12 hours. One thing I like about it is the lack of backplay. There's an almost immediate response. When you rotate the crown clockwise and anti-clockwise, the Dolphin minute hand almost immediately responds with minimal backplay, so it feels nice and tight. The gearing doesn't have much friction, feels like the gears mesh very well, so it feels reliable and robust, it feels solid, very low friction, feels silky smooth clockwise and anti-clockwise, absolute pleasure to set the time. Pushing it back in, it's got a nice positive click, and that restarts the movement. You can see the needle point second hand begins to sweep around the dial once again at the characteristic smooth 4 Hz sweep, because this caliber runs at 28,800 vibrations per hour. This is what I like about it. You'll know from my previous reviews, I dislike the stutter or judder of 3 Hz movements such as the NH35A, because subjectively the stutter or judder of a 3 Hz sweep isn't as smooth. This is 4 Hz, and you can see it's very aesthetically pleasing, because like an SW200-1, it has that nice smooth 4 Hz sweep running at 28,800 vibrations per hour, smoother than a 3 Hz sweep which stutters or judders. So feels good to manually wind, feels good to set the date, feels good to set the time. Everything about it feels refined, reliable and robust. I like it. So let's look at the strap in detail. So SÖNER offer 2 different lengths, as I've detailed, large and medium, which is good. The medium fits 6 to 7 inch wrist, the large fits 7 to 8 inch plus wrist, and also they offer a plethora of strap options, black and also brown. They also offer smooth leather, alligator leather in both black and brown versions. This black alligator leather version is the best looking in my opinion. It suits this Amorous Barcelona version with a mirror polished case. So 20mm lug width, tapers nicely, also tapers in thickness. It's thicker at the spring bar end where it needs to be reinforced and more robust, and it's padded, so it is a thick strap, but it rapidly tapers down in thickness and also width down to the buckle and tang. Plenty of holes from 6 inches up to 8 inches, so plenty of adjustment for 6 to 8 inch wrist size. Flawless stitching around the perimeter in black. The underside has a contrasting tan liner to it with white stitching, flawless stitching around the perimeter, and as you can see, it's embossed with genuine leather, and I'm pleased to see they've made the correct decision of using quick release stainless steel spring bars rather than standard spring bars, because that negates the need for using a spring bar tool in order to exchange the strap. It's got a mirror polished underside to the case. Now, with a thick padded leather strap, often it's difficult to compress the strap, and when you prize a spring bar tool in between mirror polished lugs and also a thick padded strap like this, it's often difficult to depress the spring bar with standard spring bars, and there's a risk of scuffing and scratching the mirror polish finish to the lugs. By using quick release spring bars, that negates the need for a spring bar tool, therefore there's no risk of scuffing and scratching the lugs. Correct decision has been made. On the other side, the finishing is also excellent, contrasting white stitching to the tan liner. We've got the SÖNER text logo, as you can see. So first keeper is fixed, flawless stitching around it, very secure. Second keeper slides, as one would expect, plenty of adjustment on it, so it's good. Quality of the finishing is very good. The underside is perfectly smooth, so it feels very comfortable against the wrist to wear the piece for long periods of time, such as 8 to 12 hours per day. So let's look at the case back. Screwed down solid stainless steel case case back. Longitudinal brushed satin finishing, has a beautiful lustre to it. It's engraved with high definition engraving with the SÖNER emblem and SÖNER text logo. Then we simply have 580M, sapphire, Swiss movement and the serial number of the piece. What I like about it is it's perfectly smooth. The brushed satin finishing has a beautiful lustre, so visually it looks very aesthetically pleasing, but it also feels very smooth against the wrist. No rough edges to the engraving. It's been deburred and chamfered very well. And also we've got these large machined bevels on the edges of the case. I want to give credit to SÖNER here because both the undercuts to the flanks of the case have large mirror polish bevels, but also the case back itself has a large mirror polish bevel. The benefit of this is it makes the edges of the flanks of the case and the edge of the case back perfectly smooth. There is no sharp edge to the case back and there is no sharp edge to the undercuts to the flanks of the case itself. So this enhances the feel good factor and the comfort level. Wearing this piece for long periods of time, such as 8 to 12 hours per day, it feels smooth because the edges of the case and the edges of the case back don't have any sharp edges. They feel sharp and crisp. Visually they look sharp, but it actually feels perfectly smooth due to these large bevels. They enhance the comfort level. This is very refined. Nice curved profile to the case back, as you can see, and it's not a bubble back case back. It's nice and low profile and flat. This is the kind of case back I would expect with a quartz powered piece, but this is automatic with a rotor and therefore it needs to be deeper and provide adequate clearance for the rotor on the underside of the caliber SW100A. But it is a thinner movement than the SW200-1. It's lower profile, and the benefit of that is this piece is only 10.8mm. That's the kind of thickness I would expect with a quartz powered piece, not an automatic. 10.8 is exceptional with the curved crystal and the flat case back. I really like the fact that the case back is nice and flat. It's not a bubble back case back. 50 meters of hermetic seal is perfectly acceptable for a daily wear or dress piece. Quality of the finishing, again, what we're looking at here is high tier level finishing to the undercuts to the flanks, the mirror polishing to the case and the case back. The brushed satin finishing and the mirror polishing to the bevels is high tier level, 5,000 plus price point level on a mid-tier piece costing €524. Comfort is good, feel good factor is good, visually it's finished to perfection. 4 stainless steel flathead screws are mirror polished to perfection. It's low profile, looks good, feels good. Right, so I'll give you a wrist shot and you can see how it fits on my 8-inch wrist. So as I've detailed, the watch is available with 2 strap lengths, medium and large. This one is the large version, particularly suitable for larger wrists of 7 to 8 inch plus wrist sizes. Now, I'm pleased to report I can engage the end of the strap in the 2 keepers, both the first fixed keeper and also the second keeper. So just bear with me, I'll rotate it around my wrist to get it sitting correctly on top. As you can see, there's enough length on the end of the large strap to fit my 8-inch wrist. This will actually fit up to an 8.5-inch wrist. You can see there is plenty of length. Even on my large 8-inch wrist, I can slide an index finger beneath a buckle and tang and the strap at all times. So this clearly indicates 6-inch wrist size up to 8.5 maximum. Even on my 8-inch wrist, both keepers engaged. Fantastic. I'm very pleased that SÖNER cater for all wrist sizes with the medium length strap for 6 to 7 and the large strap for 7 to 8 inch plus wrist sizes. As you can see, this will go up to an 8.5. This strap does have enough holes in it for a 6 up to an 8.5. Even I have spare holes in the strap for my large 8-inch wrist. Fantastic. Buckle and tang are finished to perfection, flawless mirror polishing. I like the engraving of the SÖNER emblem, and also I like the mirror polishing, no sharp edges, no burrs. The proportions of the buckle and tang look correct, taper is correct, 2 keepers are also correctly proportioned. Now, in terms of wrist presence, it does surprisingly give wrist presence. Now bear in mind, it's a rectangle case, not a round case, so visually it reminds me very much of the Cartier tank and also the Jaeger-LeCoultre Reverso, and one can clearly see the inspiration or the similarity between this Amorous Barcelona rectangular case and the Cartier tank and the Jaeger-LeCoultre Reverso. Similar rectangular case, similar proportions to it, very aesthetically pleasing. Dolphin hands are the correct choice for this piece. Daily wear piece can also be worn as a dress piece. Now, as I've detailed, my favourite aspect about this piece, above all else, is the thickness. 10.8mm. This is fantastic. It's a low profile piece. Nice curvature to the double dome sapphire crystal. Also, nice curvature to the case. It doesn't sit on top of the wrist like a block or slab of 316L grade stainless steel. It curves around the wrist. Regardless of whether you have a 6 to 7 inch wrist or a 7 to 8 inch wrist, The curvature is correct for all wrist sizes, and SÖNER deserve credit because it is very hard to get that correct for all wrist sizes. It does have a compact lug-to-lug measurement of 40.2. Now, you'll know from my previous reviews, I consider 48mm to be the sweet spot. That is the perfect lug-to-lug measurement, regardless of whether you have a 6 to 7 inch wrist or a 7 to 8 inch wrist. Respectively, I often refer to 48 as the sweet spot. But that's for round case watches. One has to appreciate this is a daily wear piece or a dress piece in a rectangular case, so therefore it's more compact in its dimensions. It's only 28.2 diameter, but it does still offer surprising wrist presence, and in this case 40.2 is acceptable. Yes, it isn't the 48mm sweet spot, but even on my large 8-inch wrist you can see 40.2 is long enough to wrap around my wrist. Now, the benefit is it's compact, so it does have no gap whatsoever beneath the tips of the lugs. This is very good. The curvature of the undercut to the flank with a nice large mirror polished bevel means that it's very comfortable. It's a very snug case. It's very curved around the wrist, it doesn't have a large gap, and this is the benefit of that flat case back rather than a bubble back case back. You can see it perfectly wraps around my wrist. The curvature of the case and the curvature of the case back being flat perfectly matches the curvature of my wrist. This will fit your 6 to 7 inch wrist just as well as a 7 to 8 inch wrist. Now, in terms of wrist presence, I would like a larger version, but subjectively I have a large 8-inch wrist. Of course, 28.2 does look small on my 8-inch wrist, but if you have a 6 to 7-inch wrist, you will enjoy the wrist presence and you'll also enjoy the compact 40.2mm lug-to-lug. Above all else, as I've detailed, my favourite aspect is the 10.8 thickness. Now, you'll know from my previous reviews, anything below 13mm is the sweet spot. That means a case will easily slip underneath a shirt cuff if you wear business shirts. So needless to say, it's only 10.8. This is very low profile and it will easily slip underneath a shirt cuff. So practical for a daily wear piece, practical for a dress piece, and I think it looks very good. Feel good factor and comfort level are 10 out of 10. Feels balanced. Now, 67 grams is the heft. It's a very lightweight piece, as one would expect, because it is only 28.2 diameter by 40.2 long. But bear in mind, this is an automatic, it's not the quartz version. They do make a quartz version of this piece. So one expects some additional heft with an automatic, because the automatic caliber is more heavy than a quartz. But 67 feels weightless. This watch feels invisible on wrist. It really does feel like a very comfortable piece that is invisible. The alligator leather strap does feel stiff. It does feel padded, and it is going to need daily wear to become soft and supple. Initially it does feel like a stiff, thick strap, but it's smooth on the underside and it does feel comfortable. It doesn't have sharp edges to it. So, although it does initially feel stiff and thick, I'm confident that with daily wear it will become more soft and supple. It's high grade. You can feel it feels like calf leather or cordovan shell Horween leather. That's the grade we're looking at. Lovely scent to it, and also the alligator textured finish to it looks very aesthetically pleasing. I like the sheen to it, which is subtle. It's not too glossy, but it could be used as a daily wear piece or alternatively a dress piece. It's got that nice glossy sheen to it. Taper of it is correct. 20 down to the buckle and tang, and I like the proportions of the 20mm lug width. So, benefits of the piece are feel good factor and comfort level, snug to the wrist, compact case, particularly suitable for a 6 to 7 inch wrist, lack of heft enhances comfort, 67 grams, it feels like an invisible piece. In terms of legibility, it's surprisingly good because the AL coating works well when you tilt it at an oblique angle. The silver mirror polished dolphin hands contrast very well with the black sunburst style, and the silver stick indices also contrast well. So the legibility, when you look at it straight on, is good. You can read the time well, and the date complication, you can actually read it very well. Curvature of the sapphire crystal is a delight. I like the large bevels on the edges of the curved sapphire crystal because the bevels on the edges of the sapphire crystal catch the light and it projects above the mirror polished curved bezel on the case. So it really does visually remind me of the Cartier tank and also the Jaeger-LeCoultre Reverso. Very similar piece in terms of the proportions and how it looks. Mirror polishing to every facet of the bezel and the case really does enhance the piece. It complements the mirror polished dolphin hands and mirror polished stick indices. So feel good factor is excellent, comfort level is excellent. The strap does feel stiff and it does feel thick. You can feel it's a padded strap, but I am confident it's going to break in with daily wear and become more soft and supple. So it's very good. So I would say it's suitable for all wrist sizes, 6 to 7 inch and also 7 to 8 inch wrist respectively. So there's no loom on the indices and also the hands, so therefore we don't need to do a loom test. So I'll move on to discussing the movement, which is my favourite aspect of the piece. So this is powered by the Sellita Caliber SW100A Automatic, which is Swiss made. It's been in service since 2015, so at this stage in 2025 it's a reliable, well-proven workhorse Swiss caliber. So the SW100A Automatic is a clone of the ETA 2671. The architecture is identical, it has the same 25 joules. It runs at 28,800 vibrations per hour and a frequency of 4 Hz. Has hand winding and hacking, which work well as I've demonstrated, and a quick set data complication, which also works well. 42-hour power reserve is perfectly acceptable, and the stated accuracy of the Elaboré grade ETA 2671, which it is a clone of, is plus or minus 10 to plus or minus 25 seconds per day. So this Sellita Caliber SW100A Automatic comes in Elaboré grade, and it also comes in top and chronometer grade. So this one uses the Elaboré grade, and the accuracy is the same. The stated accuracy is plus or minus 10 to plus or minus 25 seconds per day, so a rather wide accuracy range. However, I'm pleased to report that Sonar are doing a very good job of regulating the Sellita SW100A automatics they're using in this piece. They're clearly regulating the movements in 5 positions, because this one is running at plus 3 seconds per day while it's fully wound to its maximum 42-hour power reserve. So just think about that for a moment. Plus 3 is well within the stated accuracy of plus or minus 10 to plus or minus 25 seconds per day. Plus 3 is actually within chronometer accuracy of minus 4 to plus 6. So what you're getting here is a Swiss-made caliber, which is a clone of the ETA 2671. The architecture is identical. It's a very well proven design. It's been in service for 10 years, so the reliability is proven beyond question. Chronometer accuracy, plus 3 seconds per day, is outstanding. 42-hour power reserve is excellent. And in terms of quality, there's no difference in quality between the SW200-1, which is the larger version of it, and the SW100A Automatic. Build quality, quality control, materials, tolerances and finishing are the same. The Elaboré grade of SW200-1 has the same quality of finishing as the SW100A Automatic. It is a direct clone of the ETA 2671, which in itself is an excellent movement. It's reliable, it's accurate, the build quality is excellent. They are identical. The architecture is the same 25 joules, the parts are interchangeable. So in terms of quality, there is no difference in the quality of an SW100A and the ETA 2671, which it is a clone of. They are identical quality movements. It's the correct choice for this piece because it is a small case at 28.2 diameter by 40.2. Obviously, an SW200-1 isn't going to fit in a 28.2 case. And this is the correct choice. The SW100A is just a smaller version of the SW200-1. So it has an automatic rotor on the underside rather than just being a manual wind movement. So I like it. Are there any negatives to it? None whatsoever. I like that it's been in service since 2015. I like its plus 3 seconds per day. Hand winding works well, hacking works well, setting the time feels smooth, quick set date complication works well. Everything about it feels good. So lastly, I'll summarise the piece. What do I think of it overall? Well, when I'm considering reviewing a watch on my channel, the watch meets 2 criteria. It should be both excellent quality and excellent value at the respective price point. So mid-tier piece, price point is €524. So to remind you, low tier is €0 to €500 price point, mid-tier is €500 to €5,000 price point. So this is at the lower end of the mid-tier at €524. I'm going to declare it excellent quality and I'm going to declare it excellent value at €524. There are no negatives to this piece whatsoever. Build quality, quality control, finishing, specification are absolutely loaded. No flaws to this whatsoever. Above all else, what I like about this piece is the quality of the finishing to the case, the bezel and the case back and the crown. What we're looking at here, as I've detailed, is high tier level finishing to the bezel, case, case back and crown on a mid-tier piece. This is the kind of case polishing one expects to see on a €5,000+ price point piece in the high tier. But we're getting it at a mid-tier price point of €524. Even in between the lugs is mirror polished to the same flawless standard as the bezel, the case and the case back. And Sonar deserve credit because it is a quality Swedish piece with a quality Swiss caliber. The SW100A is excellent, and it is the correct choice at this price point to be using a Sellita caliber such as the SW100A automatic. It's outstanding. No negatives whatsoever. I like everything about it. Visually, it does look and feel very similar to a Cartier tank or a Jaeger-LeCoultre Reverso. It's got that similar rectangular case, and I really like it. I think it's a good daily wear piece, and I think it's a good dress piece, and I like the versatility of it. Curvature is very good for all wrist sizes, and it's good that they offer two different strap lengths, medium and large. Above all else, I want to give credit to SÖNER for the 10-year international warranty. And again, this adds value to the piece because often mid-tier micro brands only offer a 1 or 2 year warranty. This is the first watch I have reviewed with a 10-year international warranty. I have reviewed over 500. This is the first and only watch with a 10-year warranty. To get a 10-year warranty at the €524 price point is exceptional. SÖNER deserve full credit for that, and I really like it. So that is a very strong point to it. I'm going to declare it a champagne watch for lemonade money. I hope you've enjoyed my review of the SÖNER Amorous Barcelona. Please feel free to post your own comments below the video. Thank you for watching.